Gen 9 OU is the most power crept generation of Pokemon in history. While it's not as clear-cut as it may seem, with permanent weather in Gen 5 and Megas in Gen 6, in my opinion, the addition of Paradox Pokemon and the fall of Ubers into the regular metagame makes this generation unlike anything we've seen before. This is in no small part due to the fact that the new Pokemon released with this generation and the following DLCs utilize mechanics utterly unseen in previous games. Paradox abilities, Terastallization, and new Pokemon seemingly designed to fully take advantage of these mechanics show why 7 out of 10 of the top used Pokemon are from Gen 9. In this video, I will be going over the top 3 most consistently used Pokemon in the generation and show why they're so good. But first, I'd like to address the elephant in the room. Neither of the top 2 Pokemon in the viability rankings are new to this generation. The 2 highest rated Pokemon in the metagame are Zamazenta and Dragonite. I'm not here to argue with this, in fact, I actually agree. The sheer versatility of both these Pokemon are unmatched. However, the usage stats do not reflect this. Dragonite and Zamazenta are number 4 and 5 in the usage rankings respectively, and while that's nothing to scoff at, it begs the question, why are these 3 the most consistently used Pokemon in the metagame? That's what I'm here to answer. Gholdengo is a Pokemon with a design blatantly ripped off from a cheese stick mascot. And, in tandem with its annoying design, it has an annoying ability and the worst evolution method in any Pokemon game. But, when it does evolve, it competes with legendaries in sheer power and versatility. It has one of the strongest dual typings in the game, both offensively and defensively. On the offensive side, Gholdengo uses its combination of a great special attack stat combined with powerful stab moves and setup to send off boosted nukes that can knock out even the most bulky foes. It also boasts one of the most versatile move pools in the format, being able to run setup, status, or choice sets that all serve very different purposes. However, even with amazing stats and a great move pool, the most powerful weapon in Gholdengo's arsenal is its signature ability. Good as Gold is one of the strongest abilities in the game, allowing it to completely shut down any targeted status move used against it. Most notably, this completely blocks Defog, and with its typing being able to block Rapid and Mortal Spin, it's a one-man army of preventing hazard removal. In fact, Good as Gold is such an oppressive ability in the metagame, it almost single-handedly brought an unused Pokemon to usage just to counter it. It can fit on almost any team structure, and is the cornerstone of the strong hazard stacking archetype. So, in conclusion, Gholdengo has a combination of amazing typing, great stats, a wide move pool, and the most oppressive ability in the metagame. Yet it's still only the 3rd most consistently used Pokemon in the metagame. So, what could possibly be stronger than it?
With the first pick in the 2003 NBA Draft, the Cleveland Cavaliers select
Kingambit, yeah! Kingambit's release in Scarlet and Violet mirrors the 2003 NBA Draft and the debut of the best basketball player of all time. Kingambit was given the weight of the world to perform well in the metagame as an evolution to the already powerful Bisharp, and boy did it live up to the expectation. For any Gen 5 players, what Kingambit does is the exact same thing Bisharp does, but better. It sends off Sucker Punches bolstered by its Supreme Overlord ability as a potent late-game sweeper, forcing the end of the game into a rock-paper-scissors of sorts. Unlike the ever-present and malleable Gholdengo, Kingambit only has a single set it runs, meant to do one thing and one thing only: come in and sweep with Sucker Punch. It's simple, but the pressure it creates on the opponent by simply knowing it exists on the opposing team is unparalleled. Kingambit is built perfectly to fulfill the singular role it has. With an amazing attack stat and defensive stats that you can't scoff at, it avoids being a glass cannon like many other revenge sweepers in the tier. With access to the novel ability Supreme Overlord, it gains power with the more Pokemon on your side fainted. Kingambit forces a 50-50 against any Pokemon it goes against, forcing them to predict whether it's going to Sucker Punch or Kowtow Cleave. But it's not a 50-50. In fact, it's not even a 70-30. To beat Kingambit, you have to correctly predict 8 Sucker Punches, while it only has to get 1, which means going against a Kingambit is more of a 90-10 than a 50-50. and there's nothing you can do to stop it. It comes in, sends off boosted sucker punches, and wins. Kingambit is unique in that its usage and viability is simply due to its potency in its singular role of a late-game sweeper. So much so that it has a presence on nearly every offensive archetype in the tier. But still, there's one Pokemon that supersedes it in usage. If Kingambit is LeBron James, then Great Tusk is Ben Simmons, the undisputed GOAT of OU and the reincarnation of Landorus Therian. It has been the most consistently used Pokemon in the tier for over 2.5 years, and for good reason. It's a good entry hazard setter and remover, a good defensive Pokemon, and setup sweeper. It's one of 2 viable users of Rapid Spin in the tier, and has an extremely strong dual stab combination in Headlong Rush and Close Combat. And on top of all that, it has one of the best abilities in the game in Photosynthesis. Great Tusk has remained around 30% usage for most of Gen 9, and when you go up to higher elos, that number only increases. What's interesting, though, is that there's been virtually no talk of banning or restricting it. The community unanimously agrees that its presence in the tier is a positive one, which is something that can't be said of the previous 2 Pokemon. The reasoning behind this is because Great Tusk usage isn't due to extreme offensive or defensive prowess, rather, it's used so much because of its sheer utility for every team archetype. It has good matchups into Gholdengo and Kingambit. Additionally, unlike many other hazard removers, it isn't walled by the spin blockers that riddled the tier. Great Tusk is a great Pokemon because it allows for more team diversity. Role compression is an extremely important thing in team building, allowing more open spots for fun Pokemon. Having a centralizing Pokemon that can fit so many roles is a great thing for the tier, and why, despite not being the peak of the viability rankings, Great Tusk is the most consistently used Pokemon in the entirety of Gen 9. Okay, seriously, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. This has been super fun to make, and I do have more ideas for more. If you want to see those, please feel free to subscribe.